Sometimes life throws us something so unexpected it really makes you stop and think. But what if that curveball was actually the key to something amazing? Today we're doing a deep dive into this really powerful narrative from Pakistan. It's called The Gift of Ayesha, a giant's blessing.
A fascinating title.
It is. And our mission today is to, unpack this story. It weaves together deep faith, quite a bit of mystery, and this incredible transformation.
Right.
We're going to explore how even really extraordinary, sometimes, difficult circumstances might actually serve a greater purpose, something we don't see at first.
Yeah, that hidden meaning idea.
Exactly. So get ready for some truly unexpected turns that might just shift how you look at the unusual in your own life.
Okay.
We kick off with a poor family, a very long wait for a child, then a miraculous birth, and, a daughter with a physical trait that really sets her apart.
A classic setup for something extraordinary, perhaps.
I think so. Our story begins with Rehmat Ali. He's a humble farmer in a small Pakistani village, and his wife is Fatima. And they'd been married for 20 years. 20 long years, really wanting a child, but no luck.
That's a significant wait, and culturally probably quite difficult, too.
Definitely. The script mentions societal taunts, whispers that maybe their childlessness was, a punishment or they needed charms or something.
Yeah, the pressure.
But Rehmat Ali, through all of that, he just held on to this unwavering faith.
And that's striking, isn't it? Right from the start, his conviction. He genuinely believed whatever Allah wills will happen.
Yeah.
It's not just passive acceptance. It feels more like this deep patience, a trust in, divine timing, even with all that pressure.
Right. And then something pretty pivotal happens. One day, Rehmat Ali is heading home from his fields. It's raining heavily. And he sees an old dervish, a spiritual seeker, a holy man totally soaked, just sheltering under a tree.
Okay.
And Rehmat Ali, without even thinking, takes off his own shawl, probably one of the few things he owned, and gives it to the old man.
Wow. Such a simple act of kindness, especially from someone with so little himself.
Exactly.
And that act, that kindness, it immediately leads to this profound blessing, doesn't it? The dervish looks at him and says something specific.
He does. He says, "Your goodness will surely be rewarded by Allah. Soon, happiness will come to your home."
A very direct, prophetic kind of statement. It really feels like a turning point.
Absolutely. And happiness did arrive. Soon after that blessing, Fatima becomes pregnant.
After 20 years.
After 20 years.
Yeah.
And 9 months later, a beautiful daughter is born. They name her Ayesha.
A joyous occasion, finally.
Totally. And she's described as, a sweet, smart kid, learned to squeak and walk quickly. But then, when she's just 10 years old, something strange starts.
Here it comes.
Her height. It starts increasing rapidly, like inexplicably fast.
How fast are we talking?
Well, by the time she was 13, she was already 8 feet tall.
8 feet at 13?
Yeah. And it didn't stop. By 16, she reached 15 feet.
15 feet? That's hard to even picture. Taller than a room?
I know, right? Almost unbelievable.
So the village reaction, I imagine that was intense.
Oh, yeah. Predictably dramatic, as you said. The initial sort of wonder turned pretty quickly to fear, suspicion. Kids running away from her, whispers about illness, even, black magic.
That fear of the unknown, the different.
Exactly. And Rehmat Ali, understandably worried, takes her to city doctors. But what's compelling is what they find, or rather, what they don't find.
Which was?
They said she was completely healthy, with no illness.
So, medically, nothing wrong, but she just keeps growing.
Right. It really pushes you to think about how we deal with things that just don't fit our neat categories.
Absolutely. And for Ayesha herself, that must have been incredibly difficult.
Oh, heartbreaking. To feel so different, so abnormal. The text says she was deeply sad, often asking her father, Abu, she called him, "Why am I not like the other girls?"
That longing for normalcy, it's palpable.
It really is. She just wanted to fit in, it sounds like.
And this is where Rehmat Ali's faith becomes so important, right? As a comfort.
Yes, exactly. He would always tell her, "Daughter, Allah has made you special. There must be some wisdom in this."
Yeah. Such powerful words. It really highlights that theme, finding purpose in the difference, believing there's a reason, even if it's not clear yet.
Yeah, a higher design maybe.
Yeah.
So fast forward a bit. Ayesha is 20, still 15 feet tall. She mostly stays home.
Understandable given the reactions.
Right. Finds comfort in reading the Qur'an, praying, helping her mother. Interestingly, she consistently helps the poor villagers. Has this very pure, kind heart despite everything.
So her spirit wasn't crushed by her circumstances.
Doesn't seem like it. And then the story takes another, even more astonishing turn.
Okay, I'm braced.
At 20, Ayesha has this dream, a prophetic dream. She sees a radiant angel who tells her that Allah created her for a special purpose, and that she would soon be the mother of a son who would be a sign for the world.
Wow, okay. A special purpose and a miraculous child foretold.
Exactly. And then, well, following this dream, Ayesha becomes pregnant, miraculously, without marriage.
Oh boy, the village reaction must have exploded then.
You can imagine.
Yeah.
Shock, confusion, and immediate accusations. Bad rumors started flying, judging her instantly.
Without knowing about the dream or the divine context, just seeing the surface.
Precisely. Rema Ali was, understandably, deeply distressed by all this. But Ayesha, she stood firm, took a solemn oath she'd done nothing wrong. Said she herself didn't understand how it happened, only that it was connected to her dream.
And this is where the religious leader steps in. The mulvi.
Yes, a critical moment. He intervened. And importantly, he drew a direct parallel to the story of Hazrat Maryam Mary and her miraculous pregnancy with Isa, or Jesus.
Providing a framework from their own tradition.
Exactly. He suggested it was a sign from Allah, a testament to God's will sometimes being beyond our grasp, just like Mary's story. He called for patience.
That's a really important intervention. It reframes the inexplicable from something scandalous to potentially something sacred. Raises that question of how do we handle things we just can't explain.
Right. So 9 months later, Ayesha gives birth. A beautiful son named Noor Muhammad.
Noor Muhammad, meaning light of Muhammad.
Yes. And immediately, people notice his eyes remarkably bright and this unique glow about his face. Captivating.
And then came the miracles.
Instantly. Yeah. Coinciding exactly with his birth. Springs of water suddenly appeared where there was none.
Wow.
Barren land turned green. Sick people were spontaneously healed.
So his arrival had this immediate, tangible, positive impact. Not subtle at all.
Not at all. Clearly signaling something extraordinary was happening.
Okay. And what about Noor Muhammad himself? Did he develop normally other than the miracles?
Well, his development was actually incredibly accelerated. In just 1 year, he grew to the size of a normal 3-year-old.
Really? But not tall like his mother.
No. Interestingly, his height stayed normal, just his overall development was fast-tracked. And his abilities were just astounding. Reading the Qur'an at a super young age, his voice apparently brought peace to people's hearts. And he could heal the sick, just by placing his hand on their head.
Just like that. Simple touch.
Seems so.
So news of this must have spread like wildfire.
Oh, absolutely. People started coming from all over, far and wide, just to see him.
And what was the consensus?
Everyone agreed.
Yeah.
This was no ordinary child.
No.
He was a particular sign from Allah.
Yeah.
Confirming that unique divine role.
Yeah.
And then came his first sort of public miracle.
Yes. When he was just 2, there was a severe drought. The village was really suffering.
Right.
And Noor Muhammad, this tiny toddler, places his small hand on the dry ground, offers a prayer, and immediately rain starts to fall.
Wow. A 2-year-old ending a drought. That's quite an image.
It really is. And after that, after witnessing such undeniable miracles,
the villagers must have changed their tune about Ayesha.
Profoundly. The script says those who had gossiped and spoken ill of her before, they now came to apologize.
Redemption.
Exactly. They finally saw her innocence, her unique purpose. It connects right back to those themes of judgment versus acceptance, doesn't it?
It really does.
It shows how sometimes clear divine signs are needed to shift deeply ingrained skepticism. Prejudice replaced by respect.
And what about Rehmat Ali? All these visitors must have brought offerings?
They did. He found himself with newfound prosperity. But, and this is key, he remained totally generous.
Kept his character.
Completely. He gave all the money away to the poor, said it was Allah's blessing meant to be shared, not kept.
Never saw it as his own.
Never. And through all this, Rehmat Ali finally understood. He saw the whole picture.
The pieces came together.
Yeah, the dervish's prayer, the blessing he received years ago, even Ayesha's incredible height. It wasn't random. It wasn't a curse.
It was all part of the plan.
Exactly. All part of Allah's wisdom, this intricate design to make the birth of Noor Muhammad possible. A plan revealed over decades.
So Ayesha's journey comes full circle then.
Beautifully. She becomes this highly respected woman. Her tall stature, once a source of fear and sadness, is now seen as a clear sign from Allah.
A badge of honor, almost.
In a way, yes. And she found happiness, finally understanding her unique, chosen role. From sadness to contentment.
What a transformation.
So when we look back at this whole story, What's the big takeaway about challenges that seem, well, impossible?
Yeah, what's the lesson?
I think it powerfully suggests there's often this deep wisdom in everything that happens, even if it looks unfavorable or just plain weird at first.
Right, what seems like a burden.
Could actually be a blessing in disguise. Or maybe the foundation needed for something much greater down the line. Its true purpose only revealed over time.
It's definitely a strong reminder, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
so maybe
true.
approach those inexplicable things in life with a bit more patience,
Yeah.
trust, instead of just questioning everything that feels off or outside the norm.
Leaning into the mystery, like you said earlier, rather than resisting it. And it really poses a question for all of us, I think. How might our own view change if we looked at our differences, our own unusual situations, with the understanding that maybe, just maybe, they're setting the stage for something extraordinary? Like Ayesha's height set the stage for Noor Muhammad.
Yeah. So thinking about that, what does this story mean for you listening right now? Maybe consider those moments in your own life, something that felt like a huge burden or a challenge you just couldn't explain. Could there be some hidden wisdom there, or a purpose that just hasn't unfolded yet, waiting in that very experience?
It's definitely something to ponder. Keep exploring, keep questioning.
Maybe, just maybe, you'll find your own gift of Ayesha in the most unexpected places.